Thank you, Seth.
High five, man. We're doing good.
Hey everyone, David C. Anderson from the It is a nice center. It is a nice center. David C. Anderson from the KnifeCenter here, and go ahead, leave that in, editor at home. Coming at you from Blade Show 2024. We're here a little loopy at lunchtime with Eric from Spyderco. How are you, good sir?
Good to see you.
Always.
Yep.
Well, we got a few things from the latest reveal to take a look at, including right up here near the beginning of the video, a nice little extra surprise as well that wasn't in the reveal last week. Real number, was it 15?
Reveal 15. Yep, and for some of those junkies that really follow us, I wanted more 15V and Reveal 15. Definitely something we're trying to do. So
Missed
15,
opportunity.
Yeah, 15V's coming down the pipe.
Well,
but
I'm glad you didn't save this first one to reveal 121.
Right, that's
would have been
good.
too long.
Yeah, 121 would have been a while. But hey, if you are a 15V fan, you like the 121, both of these steels really compete with each other.
Okay,
They're,
all right.
They're super steels. So let's start with the Sage 5. This comes with a compression lock. I love the name Sage, one of our most evolved knives. It has all the wisdom in it, really. But this comes with a compression lock, our burnt orange Rex 121, which is that powdered metal coming out of Crucible right now. Has better edge retention than virtually anything we've tested. So you're thinking the 15Vs, the Maximets, the Rex 121s, all right there for edge retention.
Excellent.
What I really love about this item, though, too, is the action that this brings to the table. The Sage is using a bushing system, and it's really evolving that action. And so, yeah, if you're looking for a highly evolved piece, you know, screw together construction, deep pocket wire clip, bidirectional texturing, open construction, all those things you look for.
All those things you love.
Yep.
And it's got that 3-inch length, but you've still got a super full grip on it. There's plenty of traction, or plenty of real estate there for big-handed folks. And for folks, I always like to compare this with something like your Para 3, because they sit in a similar size range, but they definitely have different personalities.
Right.
This is a little slimmer, a little slicier, maybe a little bit more EDC focused as opposed to like the tough tactical thing.
Yeah, and so many people say, oh, your knives all look so similar. And yeah, in a lot of ways they do. And if you're looking for 3-inch, you got Para 3s, you got Delicas, you got Natives, you got Sages, you got a lot, but they all have their little nuances. And this is certainly a combination of beauty. The Sage 5 is a beautiful piece.
Excellent. And this is going to be, unless I'm incorrect, this is regular line item.
Regular item, and it's delivering soon. Yeah, these are coming down the pipe really quick.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
we're excited for the 121.
Well, I've liked this kind of orange color ever since you guys had the HAP 40 versions back in the day.
Rex 76 as well.
Yeah, it's just, it's a cool, it gives you some color. It's not garish though, it's nice.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons we went with that burnt orange. So don't be surprised when you see more burnt orange 121 in the future. Hint, hint.
You guys.
But yeah, let's stay on the Sage 5 bandwagon if that's okay.
Absolutely.
So next is the Magnacut Salt Sage 5. So really excited about this one. Again, what I really like is that action. To think about an action like that on a salt knife really excites me. I mean, you get into hardware and the inside of salt knives, and it's a real challenge. So everything in there is non-rusting. You have that Magnacut, which we really pay attention to in our heat treat and our fabrication to make sure it performs like it's supposed to. But yeah, if you're going to be around water, you grab a salt knife. It's going to perform the best.
Internals, externals, everything. Trying to avoid as much as humanly possible that corrosion factor.
And a lot of those internal parts are corrosive resistant, but we coated them even more to add even more corrosive resistance. So
is that the primary difference between the internal mechanisms on this versus like the Rex version right there?
Right. Well,
coating,
we will change some of those materials as well when you jump into a salt. You really have to pay attention to all that stuff. If you've been watching our salt series for a long time, you'd know we didn't always coat the hardware because we use good hardware, but we felt that it adds a little bit more, so let's get a little bit more.
Sure.
But yeah, it's a highly corrosion resistant, high performer. If you're going to be outside around water, you're going to worry about that corrosion. Magnacut is a great solution. And to go one step further, I don't have you on the table, but those H2 salts, they'll beat everything in corrosion resistance. But yeah, that's a nice package.
Excellent. And that's so this wasn't in the reveal. Thank you for showing that to us today. But we have another,
Yeah.
one more Sage 5.
Now you're looking for balance. You don't want things to outcut everything, and you're not looking for corrosion resistance. You're looking for, wear resistance, toughness, and corrosion resistance, that nice balance. And so Spy 27 is going to bring you a lot of that. Built by Crucible, rolled by Niagara. It is a beautiful steel to work with. We join it always with our cobalt blue color, which we have more coming down the pipe. But yeah, along that Sage 5, if you're looking for a 3-inch everyday carry, the Sage 5 is going to give you some great options.
For sure, for sure.
So yeah, loving that piece.
Very nice. Oh, we got magnets on the table. I forgot. We got to be careful with where we lay these down.
They might move.
Well, speaking of that Spy 27.
So yeah, you have the cobalt blue. This is the Military 2. The Military was an iconic knife for us.
Absolutely.
So we still sell the Military, but then we went to the 2, which adds that compression lock over the liner lock, screw together construction, larger lanyard, that beautiful Spy 27 double distal tapered blade. Beautiful action. It really is one of the flagships of what Spyderco is. It's the Military 2. So yeah, the Spy 27 cobalt blue brings a nice package to that knife.
Yeah, and tons of reach on this design as well. Not just for military uses, I would say. I mean, that's still a very nice blade that cuts.
Right,
like
and
that actually cuts.
Yeah, and the lock is so strong. You can hold it all the way at the back of the knife and use it in confidence without that thing folding on you. You get into big knives, those locks you have to pay attention to because you're adding so much more weight towards the tip. And then being the military model, people's expectations of what a knife like that should be able to do
are going to be that much higher.
Right, and we have to build it for that. And so yeah, the Military 2, stands up to what its reputation is.
Excellent.
So definitely.
All right. Well, speaking of sprint runs, we mentioned the term earlier.
Yep, purple and black. So this is CTS PD1. For a lot of people, I'm going to say the name right away, Crewwear. Crewwear is a popular steel. They're going to think Crewwear oftentimes when they think PD1. The chemistry is almost the same. But this is made by Carpenter, so they do have different powdered processes. You will get a little bit of nuanced differences on it. But with this one, it's purple and black. When you think Crewwear, oftentimes you're thinking patina. This isn't going to get the patina. Because it's all coated. So
well, I noticed this one says S30V. I'm guessing this is just a mule for the
and this says VG10. So yes, they are just demonstration pieces for the color combinations. You can get a feel for it. But these are delivering really soon, and we're doing the whole fam damble is how we oftentimes say it.
The whole lightweight lockback family
in Japan.
From Japan.
Yeah. So you'll get from the Ladybug all the way up to the Endura Delica, the Stretch 2XL. So a lot of them coming down the pipe, but it is just a sprint, so they will go quickly. If you know these models, it's still, I know I'm a broken record, but the bidirectional texturing, the screw together construction, those beautiful tapered bevels. I mean, it's the lockback that performs like you want it to in both the solid, the action, the self-close. I mean, they're great knives.
I mean, there's a reason they've been successful for as long as they have been and continue to be.
Right.
Like they work.
If you're using when you need a knife, these Japanese knives are tough to beat. They are strong and they are light and they perform. So yeah, purple and black, it's a wonderful combination.
Speaking of another one of those Japanese knives.
K390 Stretch 2XL. I like big knives, and like I was saying with the Military 2, you need that strength. That lockback is going to give you that strength, but it has no liners in this piece.
Right.
So when you feel it compared to other knives of its size, it's almost unmatched.
Well, even the Stretch 2 non-XL is heavier than this, isn't it?
Ooh, this because it has liners.
Because it has the liners in it. So the bigger knife in the sibling relationship is actually a little bit lighter than the smaller.
Now, some people like the rigidity in the weight, but for this one, we felt there was a nice balance. But we also make this an assault version. And so that's one of the reasons we removed the liners right out of the chute, is we were knowing we were going to make a salt version, though we can make salt versions with liners. It is removing a variable if you can get those liners out of there. And so, yeah, we have all the inserts that are put into the handle. It's all skeletonized inside, so you get that rigidity and strength in the lightweight, but strong and light. And then in K390,
man, the edge retention on that stuff is insane.
Yeah, the patina it gets, the look, the edge retention, the toughness.
I mean, we did a cardboard cutting test where I used my K390 Delica, and it far outstripped everything else we put it up against in that cutting test, and it was still shaving hairs at the end of the test.
one of my, for most of the world to get to these Rex 121s, these K390s, it's another level.
Yeah,
So yeah, your S30Vs are great, your VG10s are wonderful, crew wares, but
if you want the next thing up.
Yeah, it's
or even
super
the several next steps up, in fact. And it's not, obviously it's not a stainless steel, but I've actually accidentally ran that Delica K390 through the clothes washer one time. It came out cleaner than when it went in.
Yeah.
I was so worried when I was like, oh no, oh.
Yeah, I tend to cut a lot of food with my knives in my K390, and I have found that like I'll get a little spot that just from a soy sauce or a lemon or something leaves a little spot, and I get that one spot dark, and so you can, it tends to get its own character in it. Fun steel, I love it.
Well, this was probably the most newish thing from the review.
Right, we're trying to get more of these new knives out, so it's not just a new flavor of something we're making. And with Marcin Swish, who better to try to get something to the market with? From Poland, he's one, in my opinion, one of the premier custom knife makers in the world today.
By like noon yesterday, his table was cleared off.
Oh yeah,
in the room over here.
If you get an opportunity to meet him, he's quite a nice man. It's such a pleasure that he gets to work with us, and so we are going to carry the Techno 2 because it's a hole opener. It's thicker. It's almost a different knife, but we'll carry the Techno 3 with it.
Yeah, like the 1 and 2, Techno 1 and 2 were kind of more similar. This is definitely kind of a new direction, I would say, for the Techno nameplate.
And so for some people, don't kill the Techno 2. It's not dead yet. But yeah, faceted titanium, which he just does a wonderful job with this. This one's being made in Italy. Comes with XHP, CTS XHP, so American-made steel. It's a powdered stainless D2 essentially. One of my favorite factors about this knife is the bevels. They really paid attention in Italy to get a nice thin bevel there, so it's nice and slicey. It's got caged ball bearing washers inside, so your action's pretty good.
It flips real nice.
Yeah,
really
you have your stainless interface, your custom clip.
I like this. What's going on here with the kind of insert in the clip? Is that like a screw cover or?
This screw goes into that cap.
Okay.
So if you do need to remove the screw.
So that cap is snugging down the clip?
It is.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now you can unscrew that screw and take the clip off without disassembling the whole knife, but it is kind of trick in the way that they brought it all together with that.
It looks neat too. It's pretty cool.
And then you have a titanium backspacer that's also faceted, so everything just blends nicely. That's one of the things Marcin brings is a beautiful eye to his work. So it was fun to try to get this one executed.
For sure. No, that's going to be really cool, and I like the size of it. It's got some personality to it, for sure.
Yeah, it's a fun piece. Good to see some new patterns coming.
Yeah. All right, sorry. Magnet.
Yeah, watch the magnet.
Pause for magnet.
Okay, so one of Spyderco's most iconic knives is the Tenacious. We've been selling it for 15 years. There's so many of these things in the field that people use on their construction jobs or whatever they're going to go to work with. Yeah, and you don't want to spend $400 on your workhorse. Well, this one's a little classier if you're looking for a price point workhorse. So it has the Reeve integral lock. I still like to give Chris Reeve a lot of credit for that stuff. All coated hardware, anodized aluminum handles, and then that classic, double distal tapered Spyderco blade.
Was that aluminum or titanium?
Oh, did I say aluminum?
Titanium handle.
It is titanium. I don't make aluminum liner locks or aluminum rills. Honestly, if you see a rill from Spyderco, you can know it's not aluminum.
Right.
I know that they're out there and they perform okay, but we like titanium in our rills.
Yeah.
So yeah, 4-way clip. It is a beautiful performer.
One of the things I've always appreciated about the Tenacious design is I've got an old G10 version from a decade or so ago, and it put a lot of work into me. It's got great edge geometry, but in a folder to be able to, without resorting to something like your guys' signature choil there, being able to hold the handle right up behind the edge, nothing interrupting the connection between the motion of your hand and what you're trying to cut. You get all the way back there, and I've just always appreciated that. And the sharp maker fits right in there. You can still use your guys'
Those are
sharp
great.
maker on it.
I mean, I love when the edge gets all the way back to the guard as well. And what you're going to notice is it doesn't have a choil. A lot of people want that choil for resharpening, but we find that a lot of customers will snag that choil. And oftentimes the example I use, the rodeo clown catching a rope. Now his knife is stuck, or you're on a sailboat. And so if you're in an adverse situation and you need to cut something, getting that edge all the way back to the guard, getting nothing in the way, that's a workhorse.
For sure.
So yeah, I'm excited. Very, very good point.
I always like that. And
Yep.
I don't. It's something that deserves to be talked about because it's something I don't think. I mean, before experiencing it, I never thought about it.
Right.
But once I did, it's like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah, getting that edge all the way back is nice. That next knife does the same thing. Yeah. So for a lot of people, this is a classic. It's one of the harder used fixed blades we made in the past. I believe it was the late 90s when we first did these. But we typically did them in VG10 in the past, so these are crew wear. You might have seen some of our crew wear gray knives come out in the past, so this will be a sprint run. One of the things I do like about this is the handle is molded onto the blade. So we put that blade into the mold, mold it around. That handle is not going anywhere. If you
What's
want
the, because people are going to ask what's the tang construction underneath there? Is it full length?
It goes, I want to say it's right about there.
Okay.
So it's not full length, and it's just a
still-
little piece that's in there. And then
still a good amount of.
yeah, and it has little holes in it too, so the plastic fills inside the holes too. It really gets in there. It's
Cool.
not going anywhere.
Cool.
Great expansion at the front and the back. 3D ergonomics.
The ergos are great.
When you're gripping it, your finger can kind of fall into these little divots, but the divots are also there so that you can get into reverse grip fairly easily.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
And then
got the-
also that's for capping, right? So for a lot of people, this is one of their hardcore working knives. Also built for a little self-defense, but it is a
the Kruger
workhorse.
is going to be a great choice too for that extra, toughness, that extra strength in those types of rolls for sure.
And then we did, I believe it was 1,200 of each, and then 500 trainers. So not as many trainers. If you are into that world, I'd say get in on your trainer quick. But there is a small batch of trainers going along with it. So yeah, the
very
old
cool.
school Temperance, but great crew wear.
The ergonomics on that feel excellent for my hands.
It's
They're
one of my
just very good.
favorites. I know it's more than 20 years in design, but some of those classics are just, they stay classic.
Buck is still making the 110.
Right, after 60
for
plus
good
years,
reason.
right.
For good reason.
Yep.
Hey, so that's all the time we have for us today, and Eric did not cut himself today. Thank you. Thank you, Blade Show gods.
Yeah. Thanks for coming by, though, definitely.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, I always like going through these with you. So.
That's all we have to show you for right now. You can check the link in the description. It'll take you to the Spyderco section of the KnifeCenter website, where everything except for the Magnacut Sage, which is not added yet, and not the sprint runs, but any of the regular stuff you can get a pre-order in for now if you want. That'll reserve your spot in line, and we don't charge your card until it ships either, unlike some other people out there. So that's a cool thing. But check them out on the website below. Eric, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Always
I
a
do.
pleasure. Make sure to check out the rest of our Blade Show coverage. We'll see you in the other videos.